Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Shannon and this is Shannon's Book Nook, and today we're going to be talking about my 26 in 2026. Let's get into it. So this year for my 26 in 2026, I wanted to mix it up just a little bit. I have a bunch of books that I have on my TBR, my shelves currently. Most of them are books that I literally just pulled off the bookshelf that's right behind you. And then I have some new releases that are on my 26 and 2026. And then I have some ARCs that are no longer ARCs, but they are books that were sent to me by the publisher or by the author that I really need to prioritize and get read because I've had them on my shelf for a bit and I need to get it done. So the first book that I'm going to talk about is a book that is not in my normal genre. It's one that I was definitely influenced into picking up. So that book is Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. I don't know much about this other than like it's a Shakespeare-ish retelling, I guess. I'm not quite sure. I'm not much of a Shakespeare girly, not much of a classics girly. So I'm kind of worried that this might be too far outside my comfort zone. We'll see. I'm trying it. So England, 1580, the Black Death creeps across the land, an ominous threat infecting the healthy, the sick, the old, and young alike. The end of days is near, but life always goes on. A young Latin tutor, penniless and bullied by a violent father, falls in love with an extraordinary, eccentric young woman. We'll see. We'll see how I like it. So Hamnet is one of the first books on my 26 and 2026. Up next, I have Simmer Down by Sarah Smith. This just looks like a fun, I love the cover, fun book. It says, Nikki DeMarco knew life wouldn't be all sunshine and coconuts when she quit her day job to help her mom serve up mouth-watering Filipino dishes to hungry beachgoers, but she didn't expect the Maui food truck scene to be so eat or be eaten, or the competition to be so smoking hot. Okay, look. I love that we have food. I love that we have romance. I love that we have Filipino representation. I'm super excited about this one. And one of my goals in 2026 is to read even more diversely than I have been trying to do in 2025. So I'm super excited that some of the books, a lot of the books that I have, I shouldn't say a lot, but a few of the books on my 26 and 2026 have diversity in it. So I'm excited for this one. Next up, we have A Thousand Splendid Suns by Khaled Hosseini. I read The Kite Runner when I was in high school and loved that book so much. One of my favorite readings that I had to do in high school. And this book has been on my TBR for a very long time and I have not read it yet. And so hopefully 2026 will be the perfect time to read A Thousand Splendid Suns. So the inside cover, A Thousand Splendid Suns is a breathtaking story set against the volatile events of Afghanistan's last 30 years, from the Soviet invasion to the reign of the Taliban and post-Taliban rebuilding. That puts the violence, fear, hope, and faith of its country in intimate human terms. It is a tale of two generations of characters brought jarringly together by the tragic sweep of war, where personal lives, the struggle to survive, raise a family, find happiness, are intrinsicable from the history playing out around them. I have heard great things about this book. I have heard that I will probably cry, which I probably will. So I am very much looking forward to reading A Thousand Splendid Suns. Next, we have Serena Singh Flips the Script by Sonia Lawley. Again, loving this cover. These two covers, even though they're by different authors, are so cute. Love them. So this one says, Serena Singh is tired of everyone telling her what she should want, and she is ready to prove to her mother and her sister and the aunties in her community that a woman does not need domestic bliss to have a happy life. Things are going according to plan for Serena. She is smart, confident, and just got a kick-ass new job at the top advertising firm in Washington, D.C. Even before her younger sister got married in a big traditional wedding, Serena knew her own dreams did not include marriage and children. But her mother, constantly encouraging her to be more like her sister, Serena cannot understand why her parents refuse to recognize that she and her sister want completely different experiences out of life. Girl, I felt that. Being almost, well, in my upper 30s, child-free and single, I understand that. Next up, we have Something Wilder by Christina Lauren. I love this duo. I'm excited to check this one out. And so this was also sent to me. I won a giveaway. So I thank Kinza at home, or Kins at Home, that is who sent me this book. A charming, laugh-out-loud novel filled with adventure, treasure, and of course love. Growing up the daughter of notorious treasure hunter and absentee father Duke Wilder left Lily without much patience for the profession or much money in the bank. But Lily is nothing if not resourceful, and she now uses Duke's coveted hand-drawn maps to guide tourists on treasure hunts through the gorgeous Red Rock Canyons of Utah. It pays the bills, but doesn't leave enough to fulfill her dreams of buying back the beloved ranch her father sold years ago. And definitely not enough to deal with the sight of the man she once loved walking back into her life with a motley crew of friends ready to hit the trails. Frankly, Lily would like to take him out into the wilderness and leave him there. I've had this on my shelf for quite a while, and I am excited to finally get to it. Then I have You Had Me at Hola by Alexis Daria. Another one that has been on my TBR for quite some time. I am very much excited about this one. It says, leading ladies do not end up on tabloid covers. After a messy public breakup, soap opera darling Jasmine Lynn Rodriguez finds her face splashed across the tabloids. When she returns to New York to star in a new bilingual romantic comedy television show, Jasmine figures her leading lady plan should be easy enough to follow until a casting shakeup pairs her with the telenovela hunk Ashton Suarez. I can already kind of see where that's going. So I'm super excited to read You Had Me at Hola. Next up, we're moving into a couple of thrillers on my list. I have Falling by TJ Newman. I've heard good things about this. I already have some anxiety with flying, so I'm sure this book won't make it any worse. So you just boarded a flight to New York. There are 143 other passengers on board. What you don't know is that 30 minutes before the flight, your pilot's family was kidnapped. For his family to live, everyone on your plane must die. The only way the family will survive is if the pilot follows his orders and crashes the plane. Enjoy your flight. Yeah, because that's not going to make my anxiety for traveling any worse, right? And then we have The Lying Club by Annie Ward. I bought this simply because the cover, I don't know what it is about the black background with the like neon flashing lights that I love so much, but I do. I love this cover a lot with the green, like lime green text and this like purple high heel on a black background. I don't know. I love it. And it says, a tangled web of lies draws three women together in this explosive thriller of revenge, murder, and shocking secrets. At an elite private school nestled in the Colorado mountains, Natalie, an office assistant, dreams of having a life like the moms she deals with every day. Women like Brooke, a gorgeous heiress, and Asha, an overprotective mom who suspects her husband is having an affair. Little do they know how their fates are bound when two bodies are carried out of the school one morning. It seems the tension between mothers and daughters, rival lovers, and the haves and have-nots has shattered the surface of this isolated, affluent town where people stop at nothing to get what they want. I cannot wait. Now, this next one is a second book in a duology, and I'm probably going to have to read the first one again. Now, the first one is Meg and Joe, and this is by Virginia Cantra. I read Meg and Joe 3, 4, maybe 5 years ago. I don't even remember how long ago it was. But I read this a while ago. And this is only the first part of Beth and Amy. Now, these names should sound familiar if you've ever read The Little Women. This is a Little Women retelling. That's one of my favorite classics. Now, I know earlier I said I'm not a classics girly. I'm really not. But I do love Little Women. And I loved this retelling. I loved Meg and Joe. I just never got around to reading Beth and Amy. And so I'm probably going to have to reread the first book, Meg and Joe, so that I can get to Beth and Amy. And I don't want to read the synopsis of this book since it is a continuation or the second half of the book of another series. So I don't want to read this. But like I said, it is a reimagining, a modern tale of Little Women. Next up, I have Scythe and Sparrow, which is book 3 in the Ruinous Love trilogy by Bren Weaver. I am so shocked that I have not finished this. The first book was Butcher and Blackbird, and then the second book was Leather and Lark. I loved Butcher and Blackbird. I thought Leather and Lark was okay, and I guess that's why I was kind of scared to read the third book. So we'll see. It says the steamy finale to the #1 New York Times and USA bestselling blah, 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 blah. A Friends with Benefits dark romantic comedy packed with murder, mayhem, and spice. Dr. Fionn Kane is running from a broken heart, one he hopes to mend in small town Nebraska, far away from his almost fiance and his derailed surgical career. It's a simpler life. Head down, hard work, and absolutely no romantic relationships. He wants more of the circus. He wants none of the circus he left behind in Boston. But then the real circus finds him. So the problem is not every broken heart can be sewn back together. And the longer you stay in one place, the more likely your ghosts will catch up with you. Yay! I do want to finish the series so that I can, mark that series as done and, start some more. So this next book I'm super excited to talk about. It is a book that I found as I was walking around my local half-price books, and I never thought I would find a Bookish box exclusive book, and one that I wanted to read. This is called Knotted by Pam Godwin. Now, Pam Godwin is a dark romance author. Okay. And when I say dark, I mean dark. Okay. Some of her stuff. Wow. Okay. I'm so excited for this book. I love the sprayed edges of this book. Okay. And then we have the end pages with, okay. And then the other side. It's gorgeous. I mean, gorgeous. So I am so excited. And then, of course, the naked hardcover with foiling. I mean, she's gorgeous. So this is dark. I'm going to read you this little synopsis on the inside. And then I'm also going to share the lovely trigger warnings. Okay. So it says, I try to forget her. It's impossible. Growing up together, Connor and I shared all our first love, first kiss, not all our firsts. We were 16 the night she was violently assaulted while I helplessly watched. I'll never forget the sounds of her suffering or my inconsolable agony when she left Oklahoma. Years later, she returns to honor our teenage pact, except the boy she loved is gone, replaced by a ruthless cattle rancher knotted with secrets. She doesn't know my dark cravings or the trails of sin that lead to her. I don't deserve her, but one truth remains. She's mine. And then this is also signed. I love this edition. I'm hoping I will love the book, even though it's a dark romance. It says, content warnings. This novel contains mature themes and situations that may be disturbing or triggering for some readers. Please be aware that the following content is present in this book: alcoholism, assault, depression, emotional abuse, murder, physical abuse, PTSD, rape, sexual abuse, and sexual assault. So, like I said, very dark. And last up on books that are on my TBR shelf that are not sent to me by publishers and not new releases. Okay. Fireborn by Rosario Munda. This is a fantasy book that has been on my shelf for quite a while, and it has been recommended by multiple people that I follow on BookTube. So I'm super excited to hopefully get to this in 2026. Today will rise. Annie and Lee were only children when revolution changed their world, giving everyone a chance to test into the governing class of dragon riders. Now they are both rising stars in the new regime, even though Annie's low-born family was executed by dragonfire, while Lee was born to the very aristocrats who used to rule the city. A childhood at the same orphanage forged their friendship, and 7 years of training have made them rivals for the top position of the dragon riding fleet. But everything changes when survivors from the old regime surface, bent on reclaiming their city. With war on the horizon, Lee must choose to kill the only family he has left or to betray everything he comes to believe in. and Annie must decide whether to protect her dearest friend or step up to be the champion her city needs. Loyalty and love are tested in this gripping adventure that asks what matters most, the family you were born into or the one you've chosen. I do believe this is a YA book as well, because it does say penguinteen.com on here. So I'm wondering if this is YA, which this might be something that might not work for me, unfortunately, because I'm not much of a YA reader. So we'll see how I jive with this book. Now, these next 5 books that I'm going to talk about are all new releases for 2026. They're some of my anticipated releases for the new year. And I'm going to be quite honest, I don't know a whole lot about them, but I'm very excited. So I'm kind of going to go rapid fire with these. The first one is Burn of the Everflame by Penn Cole. Now, I'm probably going to have to reread the whole Kindred Curse saga because it has been a couple of years since the last book came out at this point, or by the point it will be coming out in July. So I'm probably going to have to reread books 1 through 3 because I don't remember very much of what happened. So Burn of the Everflame is on my list. Now, hopefully it also gets released because it was an indie release and then it got picked up by Trad Publishing, and she keeps pushing the date back. She kept pushing the date back, and so hopefully it does come out in 2026. Fingers crossed. Then I have Game On by Nevessa Allen. This is book 3 in the Lights Out series. So we had Lights Out and then Caught Up, and now we have Game On. I love this series a lot. It's a dark romantic comedy. A lot of people don't like that combination. It works for me. I love it so much. So I'm very excited to continue reading from Nevessa Allen and that series. Then we have Rights of the Starling by Devaney Perry, which is the second book in the Shield of Sparrows book. The way that book ended, I need book 2 now. I want that book, and I am so excited for it. The fourth book I'm going to talk about is The Night We Met by Abby Jimenez. Honestly, if Abby Jimenez is writing it, I'm going to read it. I still have not read Say You'll Remember Me. I do have it currently checked out from the library. I own a physical copy of it. I want to listen to the audiobook because I love audiobooks and I love immersion reading. I love doing like a tandem read. So I have the audiobook. I have the physical copy, but I'm trying to finish the Book of Azrael right now. So I need to get Say You'll Remember Me read soon, so that way I am ready when The Night We Met comes out. Then we have Throne of Midnight by Carrie Maniscalco. Now, I have read Throne of Secrets, which is book 1 in that series, and I have it somewhere over here or over here. Can't remember where it is exactly, but it's somewhere on these shelves. And then Throne of whatever the second book is. I've read the first one. I have not read the second one. The second one I'm looking at behind my camera. It's on my shelves. And the third book is coming out this year. So I need to read the second book so that I can read Throne of Midnights. I love that series. It's an adult romantasy featuring the Princess of Hell, and I absolutely am eating it up. Love it. The last section that we're going to do, or the last set of books that we're going to talk about, are the ARCs, or books that were sent to me by the publisher, because at this point they are not ARCs. The first series that I'm going to talk about, because yes, I did put almost the entire series on my 26 and 2026, is the Blood of a Fae series by Briar Boleyn. I got books 1, 2, and 3 as ARCs, as ARCs off of NetGalley a year or 2 ago. Sorry, Briar Boleyn, I apologize. I promise I will get them read this year. So Queen of Roses, Court of Claws, and Empress of Fae are all the books currently in Blood of a Fae. However, I did look this series up, and it looks like there's a 4th book either coming out or is already out. I'm not sure which. I need to do some more research, but I do plan on reading books 1, 2, and 3. I'm excited to read it because I also have another series by Briar Boleyn. It's the On Blood of the Dragon Wings, or I'm not sure what the title of the book is, and since I don't have my glasses on, I can't read the title of the book that is behind you. I have it. Of course I do. It just hasn't been read yet. So yeah, those are the first 3 books in my ARC section that I will be reading this year. Another one that was sent to me by the publisher is The Empress by Kristen Cast. I'm assuming this was sent to me by the publisher Bloom, but I could be totally wrong. I have no idea where this came from. There's some character art, very pretty. Now, I will say when I looked this up on Goodreads like a couple days ago, this has a very low rating, like 2.7. So a lot of people are not liking it, which does not bode well for me. All I knows about it is it's a romantasy. There's some kind of tarot inspired something. So let's read it. He's a ruthless, battle-scarred warrior with a dark past, and she's stuck pretending to be his wife to save a fantasy kingdom. The arcana aren't just figures in a tarot deck. They're real, terrifyingly real. That's what I learned when I found a tarot deck in the snow and was yanked from my world and into Towerfall. The first thing the people of this harsh, cruel realm did was try to kill me, and they probably would have succeeded if Cain hadn't taken me to his hideout in the woods and nursed me back to health. And I'm going to stop there. But yes, this is a romance, a fantasy romance. We'll see how I like it. I know I've read from Kristen Cast before. I do believe that this is the same author who wrote or helped write the House of Night series that I absolutely loved when I was in high school / college. But I could be wrong. I'm looking. Yeah, it doesn't say, but I'm pretty sure it's the same author. So now the last 5 books that I'm going to talk about are books that were sent to me by Atria, since I am an Atria partner and I am very behind on Atria books. I really, really need to prioritize getting those books that are sent to me by the publisher read. But how do I do that? Anyways, the first one I'm going to talk about is The Main Character by Jacqueline Goldis. The Main Character, I believe, is a mystery, maybe a thriller. It says, all aboard the Orient Express, where the best-selling thriller author is pulling the strings on a luxurious trip down the Italian coast. But is she plotting a dream trip or a nightmare? Reclusive, mysterious author Ginevra X is famous for her unusual approach to crafting her big best-selling thrillers. She hires real people and conducts intensive interviews, then fictionalizes them. Her latest main character, Rory, is delighted when Ginevra presents her with an extravagant bonus, a lavish trip along Italy's Mediterranean coast on the famed, newly renovated Orient Express. But when Rory boards the train, she's stunned to discover that her brother, her best friend, and even her ex-fiancé are also passengers, all invited by Ginevra, all hiding secrets. Oh, that's messy, ma'am. That's messy. So we'll see. I'm excited about that one. Then I have You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty by Akawaki Emezi. I hope I said that correctly. I am super excited about this one. This was sent to me by Atria. I've been wanting to read it, but now I have a physical copy and I'm super excited. Faye Adikola wants to learn how to be alive again. It's been 5 years since the accident that killed the love of her life, and she's almost a new person now, an artist with her own studio, sharing a brownstone apartment with her best friend Joy, who insists it's time for Faye to ease back into the dating scene. Faye isn't ready for anything serious, but a steamy encounter at a rooftop party cascades into a whirlwind summer she could never have imagined. A luxury trip to a tropical island, decadent meals in the glamorous home of a celebrity chef, and a major curator who wants to launch her art career. She's even started dating the perfect guy, but their new relationship might be sabotaged before it has a chance by the dangerous thrill Faye feels every time she locks eyes with the one person in the house who is most definitely off limits. His father. Ma'am. Ma'am. So yes, I'm excited to read this book. Next up, we have Interesting Facts About Space by Emily Austin. I love this cover. It's a little quirky. It says a fast-paced, hilarious, and ultimately hopeful novel for anyone who has ever worried they might be a terrible person. Enid is obsessed with space. She can tell you all about black holes and their ability to spaghettify you without batting an eye in fear. Her one major phobia, bald men. But she tries to keep that one under wraps. When she's not listening to her favorite true crime podcasts on a loop, she's going out with a rotation of women from dating apps. At the same time, she's trying to forge a new relationship with her estranged half-sisters after the death of her absent father. When she unwittingly plunges into her first serious romantic entanglement, Enid starts to believe that someone is following her. As her paranoia spirals out of control, she must contend with her mounting suspicion that something is seriously wrong with her. Because at the end of the day, there's only one person she can outrun: herself. There's only one person she can't outrun: herself. This sounds super cute and like a good time. I'm excited for that one, of course. Then we have Cross My Heart by Megan Collins. This is a thriller, I do believe. And there's a playlist with some songs that should be listened to. And it says, she has his wife's heart. The one she wants is his. Because that's not creepy. So I remember that there's like a heart transplant and the woman is trying to, go after the husband because she wants to be with him. I'm excited for Cross My Heart, but I've heard very mixed things about that one. So we'll see. Then we have Chef's Kiss by TJ Alexander. This book, I know it's definitely LGBTQIA, but I don't know in what aspect. So let's read. A high-strung pastry chef, a laid-back kitchen manager, it's a clear recipe for disaster in this deliciously fresh and witty queer rom-com. Simone Larkspur is a type A recipe developer at The Discerning Chef, a venerable cookbook and magazine publisher. All she wants to do is create the perfect loaf of sourdough. But when her boss decides to bring their brand into the 21st century by pivoting to video, Simone is unhappily thrust into the spotlight. To make matters worse, Simone has to deal with Ray Litton, the new test kitchen manager whose obnoxious cheer and outgoing personality are like oil to Simone's water. When Ray accidentally becomes a viral sensation with a series of home brewing videos, their eccentric editor-in-chief forces Simone to work alongside the chipper upstart or else risk her beloved job. But the more they work together, the more Simone realizes she's melting like butter for Ray. Things get even more complicated when Ray comes out at work as non-binary to mixed reactions, and Simone must choose between the career she fought so hard for and the person who just might take the cake, and her heart. That's cute. And I have read a book by TJ Alexander before. I think it was called Triple Sec. Triple Sec, and I had a really good time with that book. So I'm excited to see how I like Chef's Kiss. All right, there you have it, guys. Those are my 26 books in 2026 that I really want to get to, that I'm going to be top prioritizing. Of course, there's a bunch of other books on my TBR, and I have some big goals for 2026. I think I'm being overly ambitious, but I'm excited. I am ready to kind of start a fresh page. So yeah, down in the comments, let me know what is a book that you are most excited to read in 2026. If you read any of these books, please let me know what your thoughts were. And if you like this video, don't forget to like it if you liked it and subscribe if you want to. And I will see you next time. Bye.